Well, good morning and welcome back to the Good Builder podcast. We have these amazing guests back. We haven't heard from them for a while, but the last time we did a pod, we had a lot of fun. And since the last time we did the pod, actually, I've been running around talking to a lot of builders. And one of the things I've been talking about in terms of building their businesses and building a better business, a lot of chat has been around how do you find the gaps and then how do you fill the gaps? And so I made a call to our great friends at ScaleUp Smart, who are absolute legends and just on the other side of this screen. And I am welcoming Anisha and Nyan back to the couch, albeit via video. How are you both?
We're good.
We're good. Thank you for having
Awesome.
us yet again.
No problem. It's always a pleasure. We had a lot of fun last time, I think.
We did, yes.
And I have been starting to get questions from builders out there, and I think they want to know a little bit more. The last time we spoke about how you go about bringing, what you basically do. And so basically I thought today I wanted to talk about how do you guys find the gaps and then fill the gaps with your resources and the services you provide. But before we even start with that, I thought we'd have a bit of a chat about what is outsourcing. What exactly is it? People talk about it.
Yeah.
So over to you guys. What do you sort of think? I don't like to call it outsourcing anymore, but anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it has different words, right? It has outsourcing. Some people call it remote help,
Remote
offshoring.
support.
It has, so it has a lot of kind of words, but if you have to kind of dial it down to something, a definition, which I don't like to say it, but it's basically hiring external help,
Yes.
experts who can handle work like drafting, estimating, admin, basically the back-end stuff that kind of takes a lot of the time away from your hands.
Love it.
That's something, so that in terms of construction, in terms of the industry, that's what we can say outsourcing is.
Yep.
So that's what I would kind of define it as. I think that's what we would kind of define it as, basically.
Yeah. Awesome. And it's interesting. I think as we've gone along too, and I think I kind of feel like outsourcing is an old word.
Yeah.
And when you actually described it, Diane, and I'm not at all, picking on you or anything, but if I described outsourcing, I'll describe it exactly the way you did. But it's like anytime you go for someone in a position in your business, you're outsourcing because they're not within your business right now. You're either bringing them in and that's it.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
so it's really interesting for me. And I think I've spoken to you guys, we regularly catch up and talk about what's going on in the industry. One of the coolest things, which I felt has been really cool, is there's not a lot of talk about it like openly in the industry. But I can say hand on heart to everybody out there, 90% of you guys are doing it because they're telling me, in our one-on-one conversations that they're out there, they work with people in the Philippines, they're working with people in Sri Lanka and India and all this sort of thing. A lot of people are out there are doing it. So I think it's a good conversation to have today and to bring it out in the open about the various ways of doing it too, because I think I said to you guys last time, and sorry, I'm a bit pumped for this podcast, but the reason I wanted to talk to you guys and about the finding the gap and filling the gap is, I'd spoken to you guys in private as well around my marketing business that I previously had.
Yeah.
And I was outsourcing like hell, whatever that word is. I don't even want to use that word, but they were part of my team. But the difference was, and when I found you guys or you guys found us and we started to have this really great relationship over the past few months, and I'm sure for years to come, is that I've gone, whoa, if I had guys like Anisha and Nyan in my corner, not that I love what I'm doing now, but if I had them in my corner when I had the agency, it would have been a better business, because my biggest problem was I didn't find the gap and I didn't fill the gap. I was just piling on resources that potentially might not have been needed or needed in other areas.
Yeah, I think that's why we like to use the phrase external specialists that help. So we are specialists, we already trained, we just come in and help.
Yeah. Well, so could you share like a bit of an example of like just a really easy example of a builder that you've recently worked with that's outsourced and sort of found their gap or how you did that?
So there was this one builder, we had a meeting with him. So he came to us and he said, okay, so basically I have a small team. It's me, my wife, and my sister who's handling the main bulk of the work.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm really stuck with estimating. I want help in estimating. So
Yeah.
because I'm getting a lot of work and I'm finding it hard to manage it effectively. So what we did was, okay, so we know your problem and we spoke to him. We really had a really in-depth chat from how we can help him.
Yeah.
And then we gave him an estimator. And I'm telling you, after 1 month, so he joined with a 30-day free trial.
Yes.
And I should mention that he had experience in outsourcing before.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But he had to kind of pause it for various reasons. So he joined with us and he did the 30-day free trial and he wanted to see how it works. And he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, wow, like there's a difference. I can feel it. I'm saving so much of time. Life is much better for me. So that's a very simple story without giving away names, but yeah.
I love it. And that's the thing. I think, when you can outsource, or let's not even use that word. I don't want to use that word for this podcast. I'm not going to use it for this podcast. You can find a team member for your team by yourself, or you can get support through experts and specialists to find you a specialist in your team that'll fill the right gap. And that's what I think the big difference is. And to your example, Nyan, is how he's experienced it. Now, probably one of the first things, and I hate to put you guys on the spot, but one of the questions I did want to ask you today was, how do you actually find out what a builder needs? How do you know what you need, and how do you guys help? So that was my biggest problem, I think, when I had as I said, my previous business was I felt I needed things, but when you're in that situation of working really, really hard and you're just trying to make things work, I think sometimes your focus is off. So you do need an expert team like yourselves to identify that gap. So how do you guys do it?
So to start off, what we first step is understanding where your time actually goes. Right? Where do you spend most of your time? Is it the back end work? Mostly when we have consultations meetings, that's where the builder always says us. Like I spend most of my time in like admin or the extra piled up estimation work that doesn't really get finished up.
Yes.
Like that's where we always hear it.
Okay, Nisha. Yeah.
You first have to realize where your time actually goes. That's the most important part. That's how you get to do the breakdown.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of having a good conversation with the builders, finding out where they're, as you said, spending it. That's it. It is because time
like
is the ultimate resource.
Simple audit that we have in the builder. Yeah, nothing crazy. We just sit down, ask a few questions, and then we analyze what needs to be done, the next steps that needs to be taken.
Yeah. And the process, and then from there, do you assess the builders? Do you talk about the builder's skill and where they best need to position themselves in the business as well? And then go, okay, well, you're spending all your time here. Obviously, it's not the right where you need to be spending it. And then that's where you're finding the gaps. You need to be over here. Someone can be doing this here. And we have an expert in that particular field of employment or whatever that can fill this gap for you guys too. And I think the other thing that you guys we spoke about, and I thought that was really cool just prior to this podcast, because I wanted to, obviously ask you a few questions before it, was that it's not always, I think one of the cool things that you do is it's not always one particular person that has to fill the gap as well. You said there you actually have people that can fill dual roles depending on the I guess on the necessity for it. So for example, if you're a small custom builder and you like Nyan said, you need an estimator, you do, but you're not doing that many homes, that particular team member can also be trained or is already potentially an expert in another field that can help you in the business as well. So is that how you also assess it? It's about a good fit for the business in terms of volume as well.
Yeah.
I think what we do here is very simple. So basically, we're all about the builder. So if the builder says, okay, so for example, I can give you another example. One of the builders actually said, okay, I want a builder, but I also need him to do a bit of drawing as well, a bit of drafting.
Yep.
So then what we did was we found a person who can do both and we gave it to the builder. So that's the client or the builder would specifically tell us, okay, so I need someone who can do estimating and drafting. So what we do is we customize that role, and we also try to say, okay, so if you want an estimator plus a drafter, we can also add someone who can do your project management as well. So you have 3 roles in one.
Yeah.
So you can customize that just for you, so it can help you in 3 roles.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. And are there any, like, when you're doing this with builders, because I think this is the biggest thing when I'm having conversations out there, there's a lot of, is the time right? How do I know when? Do you guys obviously help with that process as well and identifying that in your first initial meetings? Because have you ever, I don't think this is the case, but one of the things I was thinking of was, can you ever get too many resources too early? And I'm kind of like, no, because it sets the right foundation. But a few of a few builders out there that I've spoken to, they've said, oh, no, we're right. You know, the typical Australian sort of culture that we have here is, she'll be right, mate, we're cool, but it's only cool until it's not cool. And then it gets not cool real quick.
Very quick.
So do you guys also help advise on, hey, here's how you can potentially future-proof yourself? Don't just look at what you need now. This is what we have in the future.
Yeah, I think the general rule of thumb is what we try to tell builders is keep the client-facing roles to yourself and kind of try and focus on the process-heavy roles with us.
Yeah,
that's what we
makes
kind
sense.
of try and kind of tell them, because you need the processors to handle the business, but if you're doing both at the same time, you're not gonna. It's not gonna gel. It's not gonna work together. And the more you stack up on your process-heavy resources, the better you will be in the future. The more secure you will be.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's an important point, Diane, as well, because I'm sure you guys could do it, but it also makes sense for someone like the owner of the business to be client facing and know all, be in touch with the clients and things like that. I think that's where I also fell down. I'm going to be really honest in this podcast. I think that's where I fell down when I was doing it as well. I didn't have the advice of people like yourselves, as I said. And I'll be honest with you, I did try having untrained staff that I wasn't really training very well at all, being client facing and almost being account managers in that particular marketing business, which would be the same as a client liaison officer in a building business. So they're helping the client go through the build. In my business, they were helping the client go through whatever campaign we were building and helping them build their business. And it was a really good point you made, Niam, because I thought, oh, that'll be okay, but there are little quirks and things in also culture, the way we, do things that just works better. And also the owner of the business or people that are, local to the area, when they're speaking about land and weather and things like that, you're always going to be a lot more on top of it. So I think that was a really cool point, Diane. Yeah.
I mean, that's what we try and kind of tell the builders when they first come in, is that
that's the advice.
Yeah, that's the basic thing we try to put into their head, is that, I mean, don't try and outsource the client facing, because that's, process stuff is what we can handle and we can help you with, and it'll definitely help you in the future and right now as well, if you want to fix those blocks in the business. Yeah.
Well, I might throw this one over to Anisha. This one's a bit of a spicy one, but not really. But I like, the builders will like this one out there. So we've talked about how you guys go and find the gaps and then obviously now fill the gaps. I think it's great. I think the way, as I said, through my experience, and the more I get to know you both and the more we talk and the more I see what you actually do, I'm like, man, as I said, you need, if you're going to, I think if you hire anybody, recruitment is so important. People are everything. Whenever you're going to recruit, I think you should always have some sort of recruitment experts with you, because unless you're trained, because you just don't know as well. But the curly one for you, Anisha, is that beyond people, some builders out there like money. I think everyone likes a little bit of money, but the builders out there, we like money. How do you get the biggest bang for your buck? And where do you see, like Anisha, like with the builders that are currently using you, where are they getting the biggest bang for their buck in terms of the types of positions that you guys are filling for them?
So when it comes to that, I would say, yes, a lot of builders look at the hourly rate, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. They look at the hourly rate. But what they don't understand is that the real cost of hiring internally, it's a bigger cost than you get it from outsourcing.
Yeah.
Right? It's the truth.
It's a much bigger cost. Yeah.
Yes. And when we talk about cost, we give you 2 to 3 roles in one person.
Yeah.
So it's a cost that covers 2.
So let alone, initially, like, it's like, let alone, I don't like saying this kind of thing because I think people are valuable, but let alone the hourly rate of the person that's working for you will be less. They
Yes.
actually do more
Yes.
in a way and can fulfill more roles. So you're
Yes,
getting a more
you're paying
efficient.
for productivity, no downtime.
Yeah. 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 That's pretty cool. Yeah. Well,
And
like,
you shouldn't look at the short term, right? You should think about the
yeah.
long term when you are investing into something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we
And I think that,
understand that.
yeah, yeah. I think you pulled me up on that initiative, and I agree with you. I think you need to look. I maybe should have reframed that question. I think I should have said, not how much does it cost. I should have said, how much do you invest, because then you get a better team member. Yes, you did well answered, Anisha. But so there's a multitude of benefits, isn't there? Right.
Yes.
And that was the same with me. I used to have, and that's what I find. Like, I find when you get people from overseas or you outsource, I use the word. I was trying not to bloody use the word in this podcast, but when you do, they do seem like, I always found more discipline, a wider skill set, and because it's a different environment. Like in Australia, it's a different culture. We like to be specialists in one thing. We don't like to do too much. We don't like to wear too many hats.
Yeah.
Where I used to have a gentleman in my team, and he was from India, and I used to call him my Swiss Army knife. And you know what? Yeah, yeah, it was a weapon. Like, I could go, hey mate, edit this video for me. It'd be like, boom, and I'd be like, damn, that looks good. Hey, build me a website. Boom. What?
Yeah, kind of a jack of all trades, kind of.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the other thing, the good thing too, also, maybe I want to bring a point to the argument as well, is that because they're, to your point, actually, Nyan, because they are in the process realm of things as well, and they're not involved in the day-to-day communications with, I mean, the communications within the business, but not external to the business, and they're probably left to do the process work.
Yeah.
You get a lot more done.
Yeah.
You definitely get a lot more done, I tell you.
Yeah.
And you guys would know. And for builders out there, you get a lot more done because they are, dedicated to those specific tasks, whether it be the 3 roles they look after, the 2 roles, or the 1 role, and they're just left to do it. And you do get a lot more done, much more efficient work as well.
And I should mention a very simple point where it's the time difference as well. Because, I mean, you can give an outsourced specialist your work and say, okay, this is the work I have to do. And you get off work and you come in the next morning and you have all your work done. And you're like, well, that's a good way to start your day. I mean, with all your,
Yeah.
Come in
And
the work.
adding on to Nayan's point, we cover the training, software, and basically all other costs. Basically investment. I don't even want to call it a cost.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an investment. Rather than looking for the dollar value, you should look at the value to value.
Yeah, nah, good point, Anisha. I did forget that too. And when you did, I spoke about cost and you spoke about investment. You're completely correct. That's amazing, because even just to keep them up with software changes and things like that, if they're doing estimating, oh my goodness, like, again, there's just so much value, I think, to bringing in a team of experts. So, when you, well, I didn't want to say cost, but when you're assessing your costs, which I shouldn't say costs, I don't really want to. I think actually, this was some of the things that I wanted to speak about. What do you see beyond? You talked about time and training and things like that, Anisha. What other costs do you guys seem to absorb for the builders, really? I think you spoke about equipment as well. Like, you have the equipment, so you do the training. What other sort of hidden value things do you get beyond the actual person when you work with you guys at ScaleUp Smart?
Go ahead.
So I think one thing, so beyond the training, I think we have our R&D team who does the continuous research and development on if there is something that's changing with Australian construction standards, they're at the tip of that every single time. They keep all the stuff up to date, saying, listen, there's a change in this. We want you to kind of hop on this, get ready for this, because the guy you're supporting will need your help in this. Right? So that's something we give in terms
huge.
of and in terms of equipment, like, we give them everything to help the builder from here. We don't charge a single cent more. It's all on us. So
Yeah, wow.
so we give all of that from our and the builder has to do a very simple thing. Just accept the help. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's
that's it.
phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like, to
Yeah.
keep up with the regulation,
Yes.
again, I didn't know you guys did that. That itself, like, there's builders over here that can't keep up with the regulation, and I won't
Yeah.
lie. To
Mm.
do that is pretty phenomenal, just from a cost perspective, even though we're
Yeah.
talking about investment, but you
Yeah.
get so much value out of what you guys provide.
And
Yeah.
also when we are sending back for example, if we are sending back a finished estimate,
Yeah.
it goes to two layers of kind of, okay, so it goes through their supervisor, and that supervisor sends it to the lead who kind of gives the final off on it, and then we send it to the client, so they get 100% perfect estimate as you required. So you don't have to go through and waste your time and double check it, saying, okay, is this right? Is this wrong?
Wow. So there's a level of quality assurance, QA, in
QA.
all work that goes out.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
adding on to
crazy.
Nayan, I also have to say that now with technology changing, AI coming into play,
Yeah.
R&D is always on top of that. If there's
Yeah.
a simple tool that would help a builder lessen their work, lessen their burden, lessen their stress, we invest. They don't
Yeah.
have to do that. We invest, we learn about it, we train
Yeah.
our service staff, and we just let the builder know that, hey, there's something like this. Are you interested? Like,
Yeah.
we could help you with this.
Wow. That is so it's again, we've spoken a few times. I keep learning every time I speak to you. That QA layer, you've got a few things there, but that QA layer is insane.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not like to have that again beyond that. I think that's even worth more than the money, if you know what I mean. Like, to
Yeah.
have
Quality.
really good quality, plus it's
Mhm.
efficient, assured work that
Mhm.
comes through to you, so
Yep.
you don't have to worry. I think that's
Yeah.
half the problem. Half the problem I'm hearing around there, guys, and I speak to you guys a lot, is builders they get burnout, not just from the busyness, and the busyness isn't productive business. It's fixing up mistakes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going over work. It's doing rework.
Yeah.
It's that stuff that kills people's vibes every day in the building industry.
Yeah.
It's not the busyness as such. You could be, if you actually had, like, I've seen really good building businesses that the builder's not that busy because all the systems and processes and things are in place, and the works really well. And that's the,
Mm.
0.1% of builders.
Yeah.
But, to have that in their business and you guys able to help them would be just phenomenal. Just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've come across a few sad stories as well,
Yeah.
where the builders were forced to retire because they're completely
They do.
overwhelmed with work. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think even
It's the
recently we
overwork.
spoke to a builder who kind of came to us for help if he can, kind of like a last ditch effort kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, we can help you like this. But he was so close to just,
Yeah.
he had just given up, saying, I can't
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. I think more builders don't actually retire off old age like
Yeah.
we all. I think a lot of them actually retire from burnout. I know guys that have actually just, like, there's a particular builder here on the coast that just went, bugger it, one day, I'm done, and he left in a boat. Like, who
Wow.
sails off overseas?
I
Like,
know.
who sails away from their life? And that's how much he was over.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
He was just done with it.
he was
Yeah.
done with it, and he was done with the rework. He was
Yeah.
fed up with the mistakes. He was fed up with having a business that didn't seem to work for him, but it can. And this is what we're trying to do at the Good Builder, and obviously why we're trying to introduce them to you guys, like, because they're so burnt out and working so hard. But as you do that and you're burning out, you make mistakes. And that's when you said the quality assurance thing. I'm like, I love that. Because you have, a team that's probably a little bit less emotional than you as the owner of the business and a builder, because, you're emotional, you're tired, all that sort of thing. And, they're just cool headed, doing the work, getting it checked through to you when
Yep.
it's done. And that's why I think the stress that you guys would take away is almost more value than the money they would actually pay you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the core issue that a lot of the builders
It
we
is.
talk to. Yeah, they
Yep.
say, I'm kind of busy with this. My cost is going here, but the hidden reason is they're completely overwhelmed, they're stressed out,
Yep.
and they just want to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I have heard stories of people outsourcing not through people like yourself and doing what I did and just getting people on online jobs, PH and whatever. And you would pay them and they wouldn't do the work and just
There are stories. There are stories like
leave.
that.
Oh, okay. We might talk about that if you don't mind. I'll just
Yeah, I
reframe the
think that's
question and
fine.
yeah, is that okay?
You can go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, sure.
I'll kick off. Thank you. See, look how good we are at podcast now. Like you're producing me. You're producing me now, Nyan. You're producing me. It's the best. You go. Okay. All right, we'll go. Yeah, one other thing, guys, that I wanted to talk about cost, if we're talking about cost, was what are there any like scary bits to outsourcing in terms of if you're not doing it properly, you're not partnering with the right team, what are the risks? Because I think I've heard before that people like myself that haven't gone through reputable, businesses like yours that actually handle it for the builder, almost getting ripped off by people overseas. I'm not saying overseas people are bad, but off the minority that may be paid for a job and don't fully complete the job. Are there risks like that you've heard of, guys?
Yeah, actually, there were quite a few builders who actually previously outsourced, and then they were really sketchy about like when they came to us, they were like, I don't know. And then the more we spoke to them, there were one of the stories the builders got was, I think Nayan also would probably remember. He told that he outsourced estimating, as far as I remember, yeah. And he outsourced the work and he got the work, but there was a ton of mistakes in it.
Yeah. Wow.
Something specific things were off, like it wasn't making sense. And then when he tried to get back to them, they just completely blocked him out.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the type of stories I've heard. Not many of them. When you hear the bad stories, that's what I've heard. And that's where, again, I see this safety net of working with a business like ScaleUp Smart, where you guys are managing the staff, the staff, they're your team, you've vetted them, you train them. There's that assurity that the work's going to get done to a standard. Yeah, I think is super important.
And I think that's where the point that I mentioned earlier, the level of QA comes in. And so I think this particular build, which Anisha mentioned, he joined up with this company which didn't have a trial. So he went straight into the paying. So he paid them and said, okay, I want this done.
Yeah.
He was desperate because he had so much of work piling up.
Yeah. And what we do is we give them a trial saying, listen, you try it out. If you don't want it, leave.
Yeah, you can just leave. No hard feelings.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. And as I said, we've talked about builders that have done your 30-day trial. They don't leave.
They don't.
They love it. And they don't pay anything up front. It's actually a really good deal on their behalf, on your behalf.
And honestly, if they're still a bit sketchy about it, we have social proof.
Yeah, that's it.
We have ton of social proof. We are doing a bit of campaigns where we're introducing our service staff into our social media.
Yeah, I've said that. I've seen that. So cool.
You get to see who you're working with. A little bit about their educational background. Their interests and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, in terms of me talking about that, guys, I'll tell you what, it's not, I wasn't trying to paint overseas in a bad light because it's easier to, like you said, block people. It happens here locally. Tradies tradies take money all the time and go away. So I think it's just, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. I think what I'm more trying to push the point of was, your safety net that you provide so that doesn't happen to anybody, because it can happen to anybody doing anything. As I said, getting a tradie here or outsourcing overseas, you can be ripped off. But I love is the management and the support and the team you have there that oversees that. And plus the culture's amazing in your business. So I think I think that's really cool. Before people outsource, I think one of the things that you spoke to me about when we were having a chat about actually doing this podcast was something that you help them with when they're looking at, and not only like we talked about finding the gaps and filling the gaps, but it's not only the gaps, you also help them find their goals, don't you? Like you can help builders find, like you can say, hey, what is your actual goal? And then have a look at, hey, this may be the pathway to scale and these might be the resources you need. Is that something that you guys kind of do as well?
I think in terms of the goals, so what we do initially in the consultation meeting is that we try to clarify what their actual goal is. Like, what is your goal if you come to us, or in your business as well? What is your goal? Is it a financial goal? Is it a goal where, okay, so I want to get this amount of quotes done. I want to chase this amount of quotes. I want to get this amount of, like, leads into my business. So what the first step that we do is we sit down with them and really have a chat to understand what is your goal. Is it financial? Do you want to achieve this amount of revenue, or do you want to save X amount of time? And once you have that clear goal, then we can kind of recommend, okay, so we need to kind of do a bit of a mind adjustment here, and we can plug in the employee right there. And that's where you can kind of achieve that goal. That's where it will help you.
I think the reason I asked that too was also that, like, it's almost in my head as I'm talking to you guys about this whole process and how you find the gaps and fill the gaps. By the end of it, a lot of them are going to have a lot of clues as to what they need to do for it's almost like a business plan. Like, you guys are almost doing a business plan for them and then filling the gaps as they go, because ultimately, as you said, you're asking, what is your goal? That is the thing you want to achieve, which drives everything.
Yes.
And then you're going, okay, that's what you want to achieve out here. Well, this is what you need to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is what you need to get there. And then we'll give you, an employee who can plug into that workflow and help you towards that goal.
Yeah. I think that's really connects it. Yeah, that's cool. And why I love it too is because I think most building businesses don't even have a business plan. And I can say that hand on heart. Like, a lot don't even have a business plan. They don't know where they're going. So that is a thing that I have seen throughout the whole industry, and I think is a big problem with the industry, is that when you don't have a focus or you don't know what you want to achieve, you'll take on anything. So then you get yourself in situations where you're too busy and you don't know which customer to go for, and you don't know what's the right type of employee to bring on, because you don't know who you are. And that's I guess what I'm trying to dig into with this podcast too, as I get to talk more and more in this podcast with you, is that it really seems that in the end, they're going to really understand what their goal is, which is number one, which will define who they are and who they need to be in order to achieve that. And then you're a good business and you're a good builder. Like, that's part of the piece of the puzzle. So, you guys solve it in a, it's really funny for me. And maybe, in a way, you guys solve that problem of how to become a good builder.
Yeah. And in some cases, builders don't even know where the bottleneck is. So what we do is we kind of sit with them and say, okay, who is overwhelmed in your team? Is it you? Is it the person handling estimating a loan? Who is bottlenecked? And then we kind of tell them, okay, early on, kind of bring your team into the space where, okay, so we're getting some external help. And really talk with your team and really understand what your goal is. And then we can kind of help you in an external sense to achieve that goal. And like we've seen cases where the staff have told the builder, I think we're getting some time back, we're free.
Yeah. I love it. The other thing I've noticed with builders too, and you guys might notice, and speaking to this kind of point, and I'm not saying to the audience out there, these guys don't write your business plan. They will help you with it and you'll get a good idea of it, but they will not write your business plan. Just wanted to put a caveat on all of that. But one of the other things I've noticed is that, lots of builders, as we talked about, they do work in a bit of chaos and they do work in a bit of unplanned chaos, as I said. When you bring on a new team member, it is exceedingly hard to tell them what they're supposed to do if this whole process of building a home isn't documented or anything like that. So as you are helping builders put their teams together and things like that, is that something that you guys do? Putting together processes, how to document the process, and so they know the roles that the people are going to fill, basically the checklists of work they've got to do a day. Do you guys help with that? Is that part of the service as well?
Yes, that's like in the initial consultation meeting.
Yeah.
Where we sit down with the builder and understand how their processes work. And from there on, we take the next steps and we let them know, like, we think this is best. This would help you. This would help your team. And I cannot stress this enough. We don't want to take over your in-house staff jobs.
No. Yeah.
No, we just want to plug in
Yeah.
a service staff which will make your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't realize is they get to take on more work.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's what I love. It's structured work. You guys would have that structure around the roles that you provide. And that's one of the things I was noticing in the whole community is that there's not, sometimes there isn't a lot of structure. Lots of people, we've got to remember, they're all, a lot of the guys out there, guys and girls, all you guys and girls that listen to us out there are builders. So they don't have job descriptions, and things like that. All that sort of stuff I think is critically important for a business. And yeah, you guys kind of help structure that for them.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
one more thing is that you can't outsource chaos if it lives inside your head.
That's it.
It's hard to scale.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So
100%
that's what we
initial.
do. We sit with you and help you break down the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have
And
to
I think
create that process map.
Yep. The streamline, the whole thing.
that is it, and when you have that, you've got a real business. And that's when you've got a process, builders can start to step away, or not step away. They don't want to step away from work, but you can start to delegate work.
Yes.
And because you've got a process for doing it.
Yep.
And I know I'm getting excited, but that's what I think I love. Like it's so that we talked about today. So you find the gaps, you help them find their goals, you help them find their gaps, and you look through their business, and then you help, document it and all of that and help with the process. And then we talked about cost, and we talked about how you guys, beyond being a cheaper alternative than local sort of labor and things like that, you're a better solution in terms of you're going to get a better quality of work that's quality assured and disciplined people that are kept up and trained. There's kind of like two elements to your offer in my head. There's the really good cost efficiencies that are massively valuable to you. And that's what I think a lot of builders first consider when they look at outsourcing. They go, okay, this is going to be cheaper than this right now, or I can't find an estimator locally, so we'll go and outsource overseas. And they see the cost savings. But the other bigger part I really feel is the operational savings that you guys provide. The process, the putting together of process, like not it's not on you guys to do it, but you help put the process map together because it'll inherently run out of the gaps that you find and the role that the particular team member is going to take on. So you help with process, you help with training and keeping them up to date with things.
Yep.
You help with maintaining in terms of regulation. And then you help with basically finding out their goal and giving them a roadmap of how to achieve it. So there's two massive benefits in my thing: money and then kind of business success.
Business success. Yeah.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Yeah. Yeah. And, once you have that process map, it will automatically give you or show you the areas where the bottlenecks are. You can eliminate those bottlenecks straight away, and which will help, to connect to the previous point, which will help you achieve that goal which you have faster. Better.
Yeah, it's really interesting for me, guys. Like the industry, I love the industry, and there's you look around the building industry in Australia, and there's a lot of building coaches. And I think there's some really good ones, and there's some ones that aren't so good. And I think a lot of builder coaches get involved into building. One, some will love them, and then two, I think some are in it for the money only, because they know builders have got a lot of money, so they're going to go and try and sell them processes and things like this.
Yeah.
You know how you see that? And I've always looked at this for the past decade and gone to myself, I get a coach, I get coaches, and I get business coaches, and that I get, you need a third party to look at your business. But why wouldn't you get somebody that is not really a third party, but is more in your business like you guys, and you create your own process maps and all these things, so you're not buying some generic one-off line from some guy who's probably never been a builder, and it just doesn't make sense to me. You are investing in the business and yourself when you're doing business coaching, but like a smarter investment in my head is doing something like this, working with a partner that can help you identify operationally where your gaps are and then actually fill them with you while actively being a part in your business and training those people that are going to be in your business, you know what I mean? Because like a building coach course and process map that you buy for $999, you still have to do all the work yourself to actually execute it. And that's where it all falls down, I reckon, for builders, where you guys, there's implementation, there's action, and there's actual support and people to help you do the work.
Yeah.
Just seems like a shortcut to me.
It is a shortcut. And I mean, I don't know, Aaron, I think the sad thing is most builders don't even realize it.
Yeah,
which is why we try so hard to kind of educate them, saying, listen, this is how we can help you. Like,
that's what I was trying to do, Nyan, before with my little fists. And I was going, all right, so there's the money one, and then there's the operational benefits. Like, guys, like there's two benefits. Like, think about it. Like, you're going to save, plus you're going to have a business that performs better, and that you own the IP of that business that performs better because you've worked on it with ScaleUp Smart rather than bought it for $9.99 online. But it's actually in action and happening because these guys help you execute it, I think is the main bit. I think it's like reading a book. You can read all the books that you want in the world, and you can read all the self-help things in the world, but are you actually going to do it? And most people don't.
Just reading it just to feel.
Just to feel like I've read a book for the day. But you guys, that's the thing. You guys are like a teacher. Like, instead of me reading the book by myself, you read it for me.
Exactly.
You interpret it for me, and then you tell me what I need to do next and help me. And then actually, not even a teacher does this, but you actually help me do it. Because teachers usually give you homework and say, go do it yourself.
Go do it yourself,
You guys are more like, holding your hands and doing it. I think it's so cool.
Yep. And also adding on to that, the builder will always be in charge. Like,
as well.
They always worry about how, when outsourcing or a team plugs in, they think, oh, I'm going to lose control of my business. It's not mine anymore. They're going to take over the whole systems and all that. No, we don't do that. We just plug in and we help your business. You will be in charge. If a system doesn't work for you, we change it to your liking.
It's
your liking. It's customized fully.
You just brought up a brilliant point, Anisha, and I've been trying to make it, and maybe I'm getting really bad at doing this, I think. I've been trying to make it. That's exactly right. You own it. It's yours. That's what I was trying to say with the $999 plan you don't own because someone else has created it. You really haven't had any input. And then 999 other builders have bought it for $999 and it's all theirs. With yours, that's it. You own the process. You know the process. It's your IP. That's what I'm like, so passionate, and I can see it work. And I tell you, and that's why I was talking about business coaches. Builders are great craftsmen, and we talk about, they've got to become business people. Like, most of them wouldn't be able to do this stuff that you're talking about them to do, but you guys help them. Like, it's a pretty cool thing to do.
And that's why we kind of stress on the customized help. It's customized for you.
For you.
You be in charge. We just come in and adjust to what you want to do. That's it.
And if it doesn't work, we change it.
And I love it, Anisha and Nyan, too, because there really are. We spend a lot of time with builders, as you know, and there really isn't two building businesses the same. I tell you, there really isn't. I've hung out with enough of them now. There really isn't. Even when they're sitting on this couch here and you ask them what makes a good builder, everyone has a different answer. Like, they're all differently focused. So the way you run your business is going to be different as well. So again, I'll stop harping on about it because I think you guys do it in a better, succinct manner than I do. But that's what I was trying to say. You got the money benefit, process benefit, but you own the process and you've built the process and you know how to do it, and it's specific for your business. No brainer. I love it. That was the other thing I wanted to ask as well. You were talking about training and that it is their, it's basically, it's their call. It's the way they want to do things, builders. Of course, you consult with them and offer them best practice. And I bet you there's some middle ground where they learn from you, you learn from them, and you come to a good agreement. But in terms of if you're getting someone that they use a particular software package, do you guys, are they all trained, your team, which become the builder's team? Can they use any estimating packages? Are there specific ones that you use, or is it to the discretion of the builder?
I think it's mainly for the discretion of the builder. But I think in general, what we are saying is that a lot of builders generally come in for estimating.
Yeah, okay.
And they're drafting and admin as well. So those three are kind of the biggest kind of services that we give them. That's the kind of general consensus. I mean, we here and there we kind of get builders who want help with their marketing, and their accounting as well. But it's mostly estimating, drafting, and admin. So these three are the main three big kind of things that builders could request from us.
Yeah. So there really isn't that much in terms of marketing.
Surprisingly, no.
No.
I'm surprised. Hey, I think it's something. Yeah, I'm really interested in that because just want to talk to that for a sec, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
You know, when I was doing my marketing agency thing, and we did all construction brands. So we worked with Metricon, the biggest builders in Australia. We worked to the smallest builders of Australia, and then I sprung up my own building brand as well, and I created a home building business. But like, I'll tell you what, the hardest thing about being an agency, and I know a lot of builders in Australia use agencies, is that when you're not dedicated to a particular builder, it is like, and you're working amongst a lot of builders, it's really hard to get to know that. It's really hard to get to know that builder very well, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So I feel a lot of the stuff that's being put out there by agencies and things at the moment that work amongst multiple builders is quite generic, and they just don't, you don't feel the heart of the brand and the emotion of the brand through social and things like that.
And I mean, to build on that, Aaron, I think so some of the clients we have a chat with, and they tell us, go check our website.
Yeah.
It's a really basic website. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, we can help you with making a really good website.
And that's what I mean, Diane. And what I was going to go toward was like, I was actually, so my previous business was called Primal, and I was doing, we were called Primal. I was like, we were doing really well, and because I'd worked in a building business before, I knew what good marketing was within a building business, and I didn't really think we were doing good marketing, being honest with you, with the agency, because I was like, we're not in the business. We're not there day to day. I'm not exactly sure what they do, their tone of voice, how they talk. So it was kind of generic, some of the stuff we're putting out. We'll do the best we can. I didn't think we did a bad job, but I didn't think we did a great job. And so I was going to start this thing called Primal People, where I was going to put marketing managers, like they'd be underneath, like I was ScaleUp Smart, and I had a bunch of people that were marketing managers. And because we had the construction head knowledge, we know it, like you guys know construction over there as well, our people would go and sit in your business, and you would have a dedicated marketing manager for maybe 2 or 3 days a week for a fraction of the cost of what you would, but they would be trained and they would know construction because they're under us. And I thought that was the best solution ever. And that's why I reckon ScaleUp Smart would be a great one. That's why I asked you that question. I think if you had someone that sat in your business and you had them and they were able to be like you said, if they could wear several hats, like I talked about my Swiss Army knife mate, Cress, that could do web development, build you landing pages, know
SEO.
you, SEO, and they're working day to day in your business. And, a lot of builders don't like to hire marketing managers and things like that because they're just different as well. They don't know they're not got marketing heads on them. So they don't really like to, especially some of the smaller ones, it's hard for them to manage. But I think it would be a great solution. And that's why I asked you for having, someone from ScaleUp Smart that's trained up, that can get stuff done at a fraction of the cost of what agencies charge here as well, but dedicated to your business so they get to know it. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was like, because we were sometimes working with 26 builders at the one time. And you were just like, how do you, and we're doing it. I was like, we just don't know them enough. Like, we just don't know them enough. And like some of the social posts we put out, it's like, oh, I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, that's generic. That's our work. That's terrible. But if you're in the business.
To go back to the point, and I think in terms of, if you talk about marketing for the construction business, I think a lot of builders kind of disregard it, saying, I mean, it's fine. But I want to get more leads. But marketing really help you get more leads.
Exactly.
Day and age, people look at social media when you want to reach out to a builder. That's what just best example is, if you're trying to go to a restaurant, you would go to their Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok account and check them out to see what are the vibes, is the food good, what are the comments. They don't realize how much it comes to construction too. Because when you think about it, nowadays the adults who are coming up are the Gen Z adults. So when we come to that day and age where we want to build a house or do a renovation or whatever, we go through social media or we go to the website. It's huge.
It is.
Yes.
So you're not, that's what I keep
That is
saying
true.
about, when we talked about, we probably need to do this podcast again one day, but in the beginning when I was talking about like the stress and all of that and that stuff, a lot of it does come back to all this foundational stuff we're talking about. So you don't have the resource, you don't have the foundations, you don't have the marketing. So you'll take any build that comes your way, let alone if it's the worst customer in the whole world and it's going to be a bad result. But when you have a bucket of leads, you can go, that one might not be for me. And we don't really do that style of home. So we'll do this one over here and tell them to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can build a healthy pipeline of good leads, which you can choose from. And the only thing you need to do is work on your marketing.
Yeah. Could we do let's do maybe in a couple of weeks, I want to do a marketing podcast with you. Because I'm going to tell you my experience and I'd like to hear like how you guys do. I think it'd be really interesting because
let's do it.
I truly believe, like, I know there's other things in building and there's all the stuff that you guys help with operationally that helps. But in the end, it's a sales and marketing game. Building, I really believe, like you won't get opportunity unless you're marketing. And so you need to be out there in the market. So I'm really surprised that marketing's not a huge service for you guys with home builders.
Because it's an extremely competitive industry. You're competing with
thousands,
hundreds of thousands to build this. If you're up your marketing game, you can be
whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Anyway, but one of the last coolest thing I think is that 30-day trial. Like where do you get a 30-day trial of a team member to work within your business? After you guys have that initial meeting and find the gaps for them, that's a lot of value you're offering in that 30-day trial. So what does that 30 days kind of look like for a builder? How does it all start? Obviously they get the 30-day trial, but what does it sort of entail?
I think so to start off, the 3rd-day trial is a no lock-in. There's no lock-in at all. There's no lock-in. We don't take your credit card in for your card in for nothing.
You should.
We don't.
I would.
That's how much we trust the service that we give. I mean, try it out. If you don't want it, you can say no, thank you, you can leave. But we're that confident in what we do that we give that trial and say, listen, try it out. Trust me, it will work for you. It will help you. You can see the diff. And within that 3rd-day trial, we initially give an employee to the builder. And what we do is we monitor them closely. We see if they connect well with the builder, if they are doing the proper communication. And within this 30-day trial and even beyond the trial, the builder can check in with us anytime they want. Anytime they want, they can check in. If you want a daily meeting, if you want a monthly meeting, if you want a weekly, a bi-monthly meeting, anything you want, we can do that for you. And and we continually assess the employee to see if they're the right fit for you.
That's you got two pairs of eyes, don't you? You've got the builder's pairs of eyes, obviously, on the team member that's in their team, and then there's also you guys, again, quality assuring the team member that you put in there, and consistently training them.
And also we set clear goals for the 30 days. So they see the progress once the trial is over. If it's achieved or not achieved.
We guarantee you.
awesome.
I mean, within 30 days, there's a limited amount of goals you can achieve, but we set the goals for that month saying, listen, if we don't see this change in your business, you can leave. It's fine. Like, we're that confident in what we do. And in the long run, let's say beyond the 30-day trial, and once the builder becomes a paying client with us, around the 90-day mark, there is visible results. Like, we've had feedback saying, I can feel it. I can feel the stress going down. I can feel the estimates are getting
They
faster.
take on more work.
They take on more work.
That's one of
cool,
the
Anisha.
key things. They get more work. They get the opportunity to take on more work.
And they'd feel confident in it too. I think getting more work is cool, but I think I keep talking about it, but just I feel the stress that you guys take away from builders is just as valuable as the extra money they'll earn.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
all of that stress
I think that's,
will be kind of taken away if you just try out the 30-day free trial.
Let's
No
do it.
strings attached.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. The first 3 builders that do a 30-day trial, I'll give a free podcast to with the Good Builder, and we'll film it and we'll do one for them. So builders, get into this 30-day trial. First 3, we'll either do a podcast here on the Good Builder. You can feature here. We'll give you all the video and things like that. Or we can come to one of your homes and I'm happy to do a bit of a walkthrough video for you that you can use to market your homes to your customers. I know they don't need an incentive to come and work with you guys. I think there's enough incentive anyway, but someone in the community, 3 builders in the community, I would love to go and just do this 30-day trial. And the podcast should be about how are you after 30 days?
Yeah.
I really want to see a difference. This is what we are doing at the Good Builder. We want to show the action. I know it works. So if anyone wants to take up that offer, go do it. If you're a trade, you're a supplier even, have a chat with the guys.
Yep. When
I
you
think
get in
it's super
touch,
cool.
just let us know that you came through the Good Builder.
Yeah.
Then we can let you know.
And claim your podcast.
Claim your podcast.
Yeah, I think that's cool. That's really cool. Well, guys, I think that's all I wanted to cover for today. I think there was a lot to cover. So what we'll be doing, guys, anyone who listens to this as well, you can re-listen to it. We'll have it on YouTube with all the different sections cut out. So if you want to have a look at how ScaleUp Smart help you get your goals, that'll be there in a section. If you want to have a look at the section about how ScaleUp Smart help you find your gaps and fill your gaps, that'll be another video on there. And if you want to have a look at a video of me talking a bit of crap and not getting things right, there'll be plenty of that on there as well. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time, Anisha and Ian. That was, again, so educational. The benefits are amazing. I'm going to say it one more time. Cash benefits, operational benefits. Let's go. 30-day trial.
Let's go.
You get a free podcast, first 3 builders, free podcast or free video. Free, do it. Talk to me afterwards. Most of you guys out there kind of know how to get to me. So send me a message when you do it. And other than that, thank you so much for your time, Anisha and Nyan. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I would say hop on that 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no strings at all.
When opportunity is knocking on your door, grab it.
It is.
Grab it. Yeah.
I would. Back in the day, I tell you. I'm going to throw this out to a few, actually. I'll round up. I'm going to round up a few, put them on an email and send it to you and go, 30-day trial. Like, come on, guys. I know you guys well enough. You do it. And I'll do a free podcast. So I'll do that, guys, as well. So you guys better get out there quick because this is going to go. I swear to God. All right. Well, we will catch you guys next time. We'll have the lovely Anisha and Nyan on every month, maybe every couple of times a month. So you'll see them next time. But other than that, it is scaleupsmart.com.au, or otherwise, they're my mates on LinkedIn and things like that. You can get in touch with them like that, but we'll drop it in the link below. And thank you again.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.